okay? And, you know, they might say no. And I just take them and hug them sometimes. Just hug them. And I don't ask them what's going on, you know. If they want to tell me, you know, that's fine. But sometimes that love, you know, can help. But still, if they talk to you about it, you know, you can try to advise them the best way to do. And, you know, postpartum, a lot of women that have babies, they do go through that. Because, like I said, some babies cry all the time, and then you got this going on, and you there by yourself. It's a lot. But it's good to have someone. But she had a friend, Brianna. But I guess she just felt like she didn't want to bother her and that she could work it out. But as far as us, we have to learn to show love. Try to see, you know, be there for people, you know, even though they might not ask for help, you know, but just notice. Try to be in the midst of, is there anything I can do? You know, sometimes you see someone and they just don't look right, and you try to, you know, reach out, try to help them some kind of way. Something y'all help me give.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. No,
Yeah.
she had her hand up first. Okay.
And of course, you want to show love. Now, my thing is when they say your community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you talking about the community at home or whatever community you're in, like a church group, or what community are you speaking of?
To me, I think community is not only where you live.
Anywhere.
You know,
It's wherever you're at.
For instance, you know, we have the different organizations that's over the world.
Right.
That's our community.
That's it.
again.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that, because even
You know,
in
I
my
thought a long time community was living where I live.
right.
But then I saw other people coming over from other communities helping me. So I found out that they were my community.
It can be. So basically, it's saying that you show your love to whoever you meet. Yeah, whoever you encounter, you show them love. Then the ones that you get to know really good, then those are the ones you tell them, hey, if you need anything,
Yes.
you can call me. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what we call community.
All right.
Love, peace.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, we need a lot of peace now between, you know, it's not even at the White House, it's in the church.
It's in the church.
And we got to have peace here.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't think you're gonna have peace?
No, I don't. Not until the Lord comes and take those ones that He want with Him back, and leave them ones that's here. Maybe they'll find. If they couldn't find peace while we were here, how you gonna find peace when we're gone?
Wait, what do you think?
Peace.
Yeah.
Well, if you read Revelation, you will know why she said that. Because there's going to be pieces taken out of the land. We as children of God have hope. So we will say things with hope because we got faith. But at the same time, you cannot be blinded by what God has already predestined to happen. We know that the world doesn't get better, it gets worse. Because revelation has to manifest. We have to have where the world is going to be, that the saints are persecuted. You have to get to the place where you're going to have an issue that if you don't take the sign, you can't buy nor sell, you can't get jobs. Those things have to happen.
And it's going to come.
It's going to come to pass. And there is that entry before the Antichrist takes his seat of power. And before we get taken out, those things have to happen. So when it talks about community, though, you have to remember that community is also, as we're using the word collective, a collective group of people that subscribe to something. So we are the spiritual community, a group of believers That's a community.
Okay.
And amongst it, we ought to show love one to another to prove that we are his disciple. Because you can't say that I'm his disciple and not love, because he said, by this love will people know that ye are my disciple, that you love one another as I have loved you. So when it comes to talking about peace in the land, it says in Revelation, no, there's a horse that rides that takes peace out of the land. That's gonna happen.
I'm so sorry because that's what I've been reading in Revelation. So that is why I said, no, you're not gonna have any peace. You know, so that's what
There's peace among us because we know what's gonna happen.
They gonna be peace among some of us.
Some of us, because some of us proclaim it and you still don't know Jesus. So you ain't gonna have peace because you're gonna sit and you're gonna worry and you won't want. But those of us that truly know the Lord, you won't worry. You understand what's happening because he told you. I'm gonna show you some things. He put it in the Bible so you know what signs to look for to tell you that this is not the end, but it is the beginning of the end. So you see some things that just let you know, be on point.
Okay, keep in mind. Keep in mind first.
keep in mind.
And the God that hath caused his name to dwell there, restore all kings and people, that shall put to their hand to alter and to restore this house, and God which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree. Let it be done with speed. Ezra 6:12. So I think here Darius is making his decree because he had went back and found the decree that was made way back there, and he wanted to make sure he was following it. Then on top of that decree, he made one too, to make sure that that decree was carried out correctly.
Well, who was there?
He was the,
Was he a king?
Cyrus was the king, wasn't he?
I don't know there.
Darius was
said
the,
they're reigning 25, 22. Look at their
well, I guess he was the king then, yeah. Cyrus was the king before him. You're right.
There's the great, was the effective interesting policy.
Right. Yeah, he was the king then.
Okay. So we know who Darius was.
Mhm.
And you know, sometimes read your background. Do you read the background?
Mhm.
The book of Ezra is not written in a clear chronological or even though the events it describes are telling a historical account between chapter 2 and 6. Ezra traces the history of rebuilding the temple and restoring worship under King Cyrus the Great of Persia. So this is during that rebuilding time, huh?
Mhm. And the way she wrote this is, like you said, it's not in chronological order. It's just sort of all over the place, and you have to sort of
Bring it together.
bring it together, put it together. 'Cause
Okay, now we're gonna start with verse 1.
Ezra.
Mhm.
Then Darius, the king, made a decree, and search was made in the house of the rose where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. And there was found at Achamitha in the place that was in province of the Medes, a roll, and where therein was a record thus written. In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of God at Jerusalem. Let the house be builded. Is it builded? Okay, the place where they offered sacrifices, and that the foundations thereof be strongly laid. The height thereof, what's that, 80. Pull my glasses up. 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 80 cubits. Okay.
Let's see what we get out of that.
Yeah, let's see it. Okay, so it said build a foundation, on the sacrifices of, let's see, build it where they sacrifice it, and let the foundations thereof strongly, be laid. So they're building a kingdom, and they're finding where they want to put the foundation and how this, kingdom is supposed to be built. Now, is it Darius that made these requirements for the building laid up in Babylon?
Was it Darius? Did he give it to Darius?
Let's see, Darius. No, found, let's see, and there was found.
What you get, my friend?
I don't know where you are, what page you are.
Yeah.
King Cyrus is the one that gave the order.
King Cyrus.
Okay, sure did, gave it to King Cyrus,
Mhm.
the same King Cyrus
That
made a
Darius'
decree
law.
concerning the house of God at
So now we know who.
Okay,
It was
so,
before him.
Yeah,
so King Cyrus wanted this house built
yes.
in the place where, that offered sacrifices. He
Was it
wanted-
King Cyrus or was it, God wanted this place built? And he put King Cyrus there
To do it,
to direct it.
to direct it.
That's the way I feel.
God directed most everything that you read. So it's always been God that directed, but he placed people in positions to do that or carry it out.
And this is how he wanted this
Mhm.
built.
This is his house. Remember, this is his house that's being built.
Okay.
And he gave specifics on how he wanted his house built.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somewhere else we saw where he gave the city instructions
Mhm.
on how to build it.
How to build his house. David didn't just come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon didn't just come up with the different parts that made up the house. It was God that gave them what he wanted. And then he placed the right people to get it done. That's what he do. Okay, where's my Bible?
You get an understanding out of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, did everybody get one?
Pretty much got that.
Did you find where we were at, my friend? 113. Well, what is it? 109.
109,
109.
That won't make it.
well, your book.
Oh, my book
Really
different.
different.
109, she has a big book, so she has
Oh,
109.
Yeah.
And we're at the fourth verse. And you know, I'm gonna read the New Living Testament from 6:1-3, where she read.
Okay.
So King Darius issued orders that a search be made in the Babylonian archives, which were stored in the treasury. But it was at the fortress at Ecbatana in the province of Media that a scroll was found. So there was something there that he could see.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it said, memorandum. And it said, in the first year of King Cyrus, reign, a decree was sent out concerning the temple of God at Jerusalem. Let the temple be rebuilt on the site where Jews used to offer their sacrifice, using the original foundation. Its height will be 90 feet, and its width will be 90 feet. So that gives another clear understanding of 3 verses. Okay, then we got 4, 5, and 6, 7, 2. And that, because you can look at more about it.
With 3 rows of great stones in a row of new timber, and let the expenses be given out of the king's house. And also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple, which is at Jerusalem, and brought upon Babylon, be restored, and brought again into the temple, which is at Jerusalem. Every one of his place, and place them in the house of God. There, I think what he's saying is that, he's saying that, yeah, he agreed that his temple, should be built, and it should be built where, in Jerusalem, where they used to worship, where the foundation was and all that. So he's saying all the jewels and all the things that were taken out of that temple be brought back and put in his new temple, once it's built. And it's also giving more specific directions as to how it's be built. It says one layer of, the foundation and be laid, and then the height and, width and all that. And then it said, 2 layers of stone and 1 layer of timber, to be built.
Yeah, on it too. But this is different.
So what is it, let the expenses, is that expenses, be given out of the king's house?
The king, doesn't that mean the king is gonna pay for all this building and whatever they need is coming from the king? That the people will not have to do it because they are just getting back and they don't have, coming back to Jerusalem, they don't have any money, no.
So he's preparing a way for them to build this.
Right, so the king is gonna.
And it was a king.
The verses will explain that the king, Dr. Darren is telling them, it's already been set in stone, that this, I'm supposed to pay for this.
Right.
Okay.
And it also attests to when you get into 5, where it's telling you about putting the things back that Nebuchadnezzar had took out of the temple. It's letting you know it was a king that messed it up, so it's a king that'll pay for it. It was a king that took my things, and now I'm restoring it. It'll be a king that will pay the price. Sometimes, and that's just another way of it. Sometimes it's not in your generation, but it's the next generation that must reap what was sowed, whether it's good, bad. It's got to be reaped by the next. It might not be you. And Nebuchadnezzar was gone, but it came out of the king's house. And then he also lets you know that don't worry, just because somebody took something, if it's mine, I will restore it. And so he said, you go over there, and everything that Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple, which is at Jerusalem, and brought unto Babylon, is going to be restored and brought again unto the temple, which is at Jerusalem. And everyone to his place, and place them in the house of God. Everything has a place in the house of God where it's supposed to be, and you will be where you're supposed to be. When he restores his kingdom,
It'll be right.
everybody's going to be where they're supposed to be. Nothing out of order.
Nothing out of order.
I was reading somewhere further down and somewhere further over, where it said this has never been done before, they call it,
Reparation.
Right, never been done before, where somebody has actually made, well, I'm using paraphrase, made the king or whoever bring things back that they had stolen.
Yeah.
You know,
Not done. So it just goes to show you what God can do.
Yeah.
And even with us living in the world today, it happens to us too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. 6th verse.
Now therefore, Tatnai governor beyond the river, oh Lord, this shit, Darba's name. And your companions, the Apharisite, Aphorasakites, which are beyond the river, be ye far from thence. So, Lord, let the work of this house of God alone, let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews build this house of God in his place. Moreover, I make a decree what ye shall do to the elders of the Jews for the building of this house of God, that of the king's goods, even of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered.
Look at verse 6 on the New Testament.
So King Darius sent this message, now therefore, Tattenai, governor of the province west of the Euphrates River, and Shethazar-Boznai, and your colleagues and other officials west of the Euphrates River, stay away from there. And which, yeah, I like King. I knew what it was meaning without that, but y'all needed the clarification. It's talking about the fact that I don't care who paid. God don't have heathens doing anything in his house.
Really?
No. That's why it was the Jews that had to rebuild. They are the ones that put their hands on his stuff.
Oh.
Not that. Now you had what is considered a heathen because it's not a Jewish king.
Well, that's what you call us heathens when we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Heathens are those that are not of God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, don't get it wrong. God's people don't always do what they're supposed to do. That don't make them a heathen. A heathen in those times, that's what a heathen was. These were the heathens. You had the kings. They're not there. They served other gods. They didn't serve God, the one in living, Adonai, Elohim, Yakim. They didn't serve him. So that was considered a heathen. That's what the Gentiles, we were considered heathens, because we served different gods. Jesus brought the Gentiles in because we started accepting the gospel.
Okay.
So when you accept the gospel, you're no longer a heathen. Is a person that is not of God. They serve different gods. They don't believe in the one and true living God. So when this came, these were his chosen people. So only they could touch the building of the temple.
Right.
Because he don't have outsides touching his stuff.
Okay, I can get that.
So this is why it was saying, and in over here in NLT, it tells you, stay away from there. They can pay for it. We'll take your donations. You want to donate for the building fund? No problem. We'll take your donations, but you can't touch the building of his temple.
That's pretty much like in church today. You say you got this organization doing something, getting ready to do something for the church. Okay, well, here comes someone that don't know anything about this organization, pretty much don't know about church, but want to give their information on how it should be done and what should be done. So that happens today.
Yeah, because you have people that because they donated, they think
of the church, the upbuilding of the church, and then you got that outside coming in and want to do it, but don't know anything about it.
Exactly.
Just because they got
money. And they donated their money, they think they ought to be able to direct.
So no God.
Of our heads,
No Jesus.
so many of our heads of churches will accept them because they got that money and that power. Yes,
So they looked at the political part of the election.
Yes, ma'am.
It was the money.
It's the money. It's the money.
It's the money.
He gave everybody some money to vote. He didn't give us none. He knew we weren't gonna vote for him.
Exactly.
We just took money and kept going.
Yeah, and that's how
You work in the church, so.
Yeah, it was in church the same way.
And this is what he was saying in these scriptures. It was like, yeah, the king is going to be the one that's going to pay for it. But king ain't putting his hand on it. So he let them know, no. Now I need for you, let the work of the house of God alone. Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews build this house of God. See, you can donate all you want, but you can't come in and tell them that if it's like if we had someone that we said, oh, we want to redo all of our pews, and they came in and said, well, I'm gonna buy your pews for you. Okie dokie, we gonna take your donation. But then they want to come to the meeting and say, well, I don't want y'all to get burgundy pews. I want you to get purple. Are you a member?
Exactly.
Oh, you ain't a member here. Oh, you just donated your money. We accept your money, but you can't tell us that is the people of Holly Grove that will decide, because that's the children of God. This is his house, and they alone will make that choice.
To be done in every church, but it's not.
And it's so funny, in this instance,
Yeah.
the people that destroyed all this, stole it or whatever, they are paying for it, like you said, the king and all that, but they can't,
Make
got no
no
voice, they can't.
no voice. No, they cannot
can't
make a
say,
decision.
let's do this and that.
Mhm.
Oh, like you said, you're gonna pay for it, but you don't have no voice to say what can be done.
Nope, it's got to be his people. That is why we don't allow outsiders to come in and tell the church how you gonna make your church look. How you can donate until you blue in the face. We'll give you the little slip so that you can file it in your taxes and get your tax write-off. But you ain't coming up in here and tell the people that you're gonna put, I don't want no pews over here and on the side. I want y'all to push them back. I want you to bring this. That. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You just get your money.
That's what Ezra is telling us.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
We'll
We
take
live in the
that.
Old Testament, but we're living in that same thing.
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Exactly.
We are.
Exactly.
We're living that.
We live.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We're living that life.
Yeah, yes,
We are, definitely.
Yes, we are.
And like you said, we live in that life in the Old Testament, you can really see this and compare, parallel so much and so how it parallels today living that it's like, it's almost like it was written for
Yep.
today's life.
Oh, he knew.
I mean, you
You
know,
just wait,
you know.
this lesson only in this book.
And I read a scripture, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know I can't remember what book it was in, but it was saying, everything today, there is nothing
Knew under the sun.
Nothing new. It's already been done. We just, people think they're doing it differently or, no, it's been done.
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 And
My
then,
son forever want to tell me how I'm supposed to talk, and boy, pretty much want to tell me how I'm supposed to sleep. But that's that one in Alaska, good God almighty. But everything that he talks about, and I just want to say, baby, that's not new. There's nothing new
under the sun.
under the sun.
And the
You
good
think
thing,
everything's new, but you're excited because God is using you. That's what you're excited about. He's learning, and God is using you, and you are taking His direction as well. You are. You are awesome in Alaska. People know you everywhere, but it still ain't new.
and verse 8 also lets you know that God also makes the decree that you should not hinder them. You gave the expenses, but that don't mean you get to hinder their work. Because, people give and then think that because they got that upper position, they can hinder what you do. But God made it very clear, because He says, I make a decree, what ye shall do to the elders of these Jews for the building of this house of God, that the king's goods, even of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered. Don't try to withhold and hold back to try and keep them from moving forward. And that happens too.
Yeah.
It happens in the church. If I didn't get beheaded, then I'm gonna sure enough hinder it.
And not even in the church, in the homes too.
Oh, Lord God, yeah, in the homes, all of them.
It's everywhere.
Church.
I'm so happy my son don't deal with me. Woo! He'll handle everything. And yeah,
What do you think when you got that?
I am. I'm so thankful. Yes,
Because He has showed you a whole
I
lot.
can't handle that.
What do you think?
No, he's awesome.
Sometimes we take children for granted,
We do,
We
but we thank the Lord for them.
we
Because
do,
you
yes,
never
ma'am.
know if you're alone and don't have a child.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you going? I got a
Exactly.
sister now that has a sister-in-law, didn't have any children. And she's over at my sister-in-law's house.
Mhm.
And you don't never know. Be
You don't get
thankful.
that, you don't get that feeling. Woo! Oh my God. That's an awesome feeling. Especially when you get older and they doing for you. Amen.
Mhm.
And you know, there's a lot of people say, you know, they don't want children,
Mm-hmm.
and then they mess around and inherit it, you know, by death or whatever.
Yes.
And adoption or whatever, and then they can eat them up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't want children,
Yes.
but I'm gonna use Al's mother. You know, she didn't have children, and she, ended up with Ebony through an accident of her mother getting killed. And she can eat her up. She just like hers, cause she had a baby. But you know, and not only her, there's other people, you know, that inherited children or got babies that did not want any children. I don't want that headache, but honey, they couldn't take nothing for them. Not take nothing for
My cousin, the one her mom just died, she is over to our other cousin house, which this little girl got 5 children, but I ain't gonna talk about that. But she got one of the babies, the smallest one, the youngest one. And I don't think her mom, the mom is gonna be able to take that baby from her. I don't. So has took to this baby, and she just, everything that needs to be done, she does. The mom go on vacation or whatever, you ain't taking down. You ain't taking down.
So that was hers now.
That one is hers
Might
now,
not be
and she
legal.
don't have any children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Because I had my oldest one, my mother took care of him. And when she would go off to visit some of the other children for a few days or a week, she bring him over there just like I want mom. She bring food, she bring extra clothes, she bring money, just like I want mother. The love she gave to him.
All right.
So what are we at now?
Nine.
Nine. We're gonna read nine. We enjoying this.
Yes, we are. And that which they have need of, both young bullocks, and rams and lambs, for the burnt offering of the God of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are great Jerusalem. Let it be given them day by day without fail, that they may offer sacrifices of sweet saviors unto the God of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of the sons. Also, I have made a decree that whatsoever shall alter this word, let timber be pulled down from this house, from his house, and being set up, let him be hanged thereon. Wow. And let the house be made a dunghill of this, and the God that hath caused his name to dwell there, destroy all kings and people that shall put to their hand to alter and to destroy his house of God, which is at Jerusalem. Darius hath made a decree, let it be done with speed. So they're telling you don't go against this house of God. The things that are there are to stay there. The thing,
Even when you're not first.
yes, ma'am, the 9th verse,
Mm-hmm.
and that which they need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offering of the God of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are at Jerusalem, let it be given them day by day without fail. So,
Here it says, give the priests in Jerusalem whatever is needed in the way of young bulls. This is New Living Testament.
Okay.
Bulls, rams, and male lambs for the burnt offering, presented to God of heaven, and without fail, provide the priests which are at Jerusalem. Let it be given them day by day without fail. So they still got to give,
right,
Not here,
got to give.
Everybody.
Everybody.
not here,
Uh-huh,
in one way or the other.
uh-huh. That's what it's saying.
yeah, burnt offerings of God.
Uh-huh.
For those who don't have money or the power or whatever, this is the way they're gonna give. They're gonna give one of their
Yeah,
goats,
back
sheep,
then.
rams, or whatever they got.
Back then, they didn't have money. So
Right, so this is what you're gonna do.
And you know, we always go back to that part in one of the other, chapters or where they did burn offerings.
Offer sacrifices of sweet savor.
Savior.
Pray for the life
But you know, as she said in nothing, oh, what did we do? What did we do? What did we do? Deborah?
We don't follow.
We don't follow.
We don't follow. But I mean, just like it was saying, and I'm over here in the in-depth, talking about those, how it was that Darius didn't just stop with what the kings were gonna do and instructing them. He also brought it in. He let them know that he wanted to make sure the priests had everything they needed to give proper sacrifices to the Lord, not just once, but consistently.
Day by day.
Some people think that if I gave one big offering, I'm good. You're supposed to consistently, not just in monetary, but in deeds. Some people don't have, like the lady with the 2 mites. She gave her all. That's why it was more honored than the man that just threw the money proudly, because she gave of herself. She gave her all. It's not just money.
No, it's not.
Do you come and work in your church? What work you do?
Do you help people out there on the street?
Do you do that? Do you evangelize outside of the walls?
Now, I help the ones that God said give.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes
If he directs me, I'll do it, because
God
some of
still
these people
they-
just
they-
can't.
they not
But that
right.
man is standing on the corner.
On the corner.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
You start to give.
Yes.
Sometimes.
If God
But
directs
God
you,
will
you need
lead
to.
you now, I'm telling you, God will lead you to the ones out there that you give to. Because you can come up to one and you don't even look their way. It ain't meant for you to give them nothing.
He will direct you
He
to
will
the
now.
ones
Because you don't give
that are
everybody.
need,
My
that is
son
your
about had a
opportunity.
fit for me to get a most of gas.
And those are the opportunities that the Lord presents in front of you so that you can try your faith. He gives us opportunities to do what is right. He will place things in your pathway. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to trust me and follow through or not?
I'm gonna give y'all, excuse me, I'm gonna give an example real quick. You can see the ones that need it and the ones that don't. My stepmom, man at front door of the grocery store, ma'am, can you give me some money? I'm so hungry. She went in there and she got some sandwich meats and bread and wanted to give it to him. The man didn't want it.
Right, because he wanted the money.
He wanted the money.
Or something else.
There you go.
There you go.
Something else.
Mhm.
And he'll direct you on that too.
He sure will.
Cause he'll tell you, tell them that if you want to get rid of them and they ain't real, sometimes he'll just tell them, I don't have that, but I can get you something to eat. And they'll be like, no, that's all right.
Ain't that, you know, it won't be.
Right then, yeah.
Yep.
Say, I'll buy you something to eat, whatever. Well, I just say, I'm not hungry, that's all
They don't want no money. They keep.
That ain't what they after. They trying to feed their addiction. Who's gonna take it? All right. Yeah, you got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes.
you on. But they gonna cut you off.
So they will cut you off.
Yeah, they'll cut you off.
Oh, y'all too funny.
Well, I could enjoy it.
This has been very enjoyable. And you know, here's the thing. Sometimes people just don't think that certain scriptures can be taught. I actually had one that man that was a professor from ECU, he said, I looked at this Sunday school lesson and was like, what you gonna teach? And it's like, but there are teachable moments in every scripture. Teachable moments. And this here, I mean, collective redemption. This is the redeeming of a group, of a community. And that was what this was about. It was the collective redemption of the people of Israel. It was showing that God can redeem a whole group, a community of believers. If you get on one accord, he can do it. He can restore you from that place where you failed. All you got to do is accept him.
All right, the man in ECU, I didn't know what to say. But
Yeah, but it could see, you see, and you came in with great start off because you said what's a collective? And so you think that a scripture, you look at it, because a lot of times the Old Testament, Ezra, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, people just don't see where you can learn something out of them. And it's like, but that is the basis of the law that you're going to look at in further scriptures that's going to be reflected. So yeah, you can learn something from
we
it.
learned something,
Yeah, exactly.
even though it was Ezra.
You still got that collective redemption. You saw the people being redeemed as a community. There you go. So it can be done.
It can be done. Well, I just thank everyone for coming this morning, and hope y'all got something out of the lesson.
We did, it was good.
It was.
It was paid for. Oh, they paid for it from the royal treasury, for the Persian Empire.
Yeah, you know, as you were saying, that, they want to pay for it.
Okay.
They didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, this was exciting.
Get good info.
Again, I hadn't read the wrong one for this.
Girl, I was going on over to the personal. I said, that's next.
I said Thanksgiving. Y'all did that.
No.
Now,
Yeah, Thanksgiving we've done. Personal redemption is next. So,
Okay.
That's the one you want us to do today.
Yeah.
You stuck on that.
I was on that personal redemption. I'm like, I know it's redemption, not collective.
I was around and, for some reason, deleted my, Bible verses off my phone. So I picked this up and read it.
Well,
They
very
got no
good.
Bible, I'm gonna read this.
There you go.
but I have enjoyed this lesson this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
It brought joy to me and understanding of the word, yeah,
It did.
Oh, wow.
and how it relates to us today.
Yes, ma'am.
We living that life.
Amen.
We living in the political part of the world
Yes,
today.
yes, ma'am.
And I never thought that Ezra was like this,
Amen.
but
I didn't know who Ezra was.
I didn't
All
need
right. And so
Short
you
chapter.
had Trustee Brown on and Minister Annie Wise. So I got two.
Brown and
Minister Annie Wise.
okay, anybody on the line? No, nobody on the line. We had us. This time I'm gonna